Hello, Uncle Al. How are you doing? And everyone is basically you and me, sir, at this point, just now coming in. Thank you, Uncle Al. You are number one in my books, for what it's worth. I enjoyed your video that I watched earlier today. I don't know how many you released, but this morning, earlier this in the morning, I watched one of your videos, and I really enjoyed it. KP Heathen, welcome, and Joseph Moore, welcome. I appreciate y'all coming in. So, another long day. Wednesdays are meeting days normally. So, I had a staff meeting after school, which I felt like a fifth wheel at. They were talking about STAR testing and about, how to help kids study and how to help kids, improve their scores and all that sort of stuff. And I'm basically twiddling my thumbs because most of my kids are functioning at a second or third grade level academically. So it's like, if they're expecting to get growth from them to help them with the star scores, it ain't going to happen with my kids. But I do work with my kids and I am trying to bring up their levels. But the thing is, there's no way I could bring them up to where they would be able to actually help the school star scores. Little Lone Prepper, welcome. So, as I was saying, long day, had a staff meeting. I got out of work a little after 5 today. And tomorrow is the last day of this week. I'll be off Friday, which is Good Friday. And I'll be off Monday, which is April Fool's Day, April the 1st. I'll be off Friday and Monday for Easter, for the Easter break, which is good. And that's one of the things I like about being an educator is that I get lots of holidays. I get lots of holidays, which is a good thing. And the work that I do, it's a little bit stressful. It stresses me out a little bit, and I need a lot of rest. I'm getting older, and I need a lot of rest. The Bud Files, hello. Hope you're doing well, Bud Files. So when I got out of work, I stopped and I spoiled myself. I got a double meat cheeseburger, medium order fries, and a iced tea. Life is good, but it is what it is. Four in the house, four likes. Ah. So anyway, when I came in, standing by the door inside was another power station. I ordered an EP, a Blue Eddy EB70, and it's a larger, more expensive unit than the Blue Eddy EB3A, which I bought two of, one for my wife and one for my daughter. So I bought a unit that's a larger unit, has more power, more function, and got it on sale for about a third off. Normally they're $600, and I got it for $399 plus tax. About $430 delivered. Joshua Humphreys. Joshua Humphrey, welcome. Uncle Al, about the last 3 times our most recent visitor came in, he says the same thing. Yes, there is church on Sunday. Praise the Lord. And praise the Lord every day. Whenever you get up in the morning, you wake up, God has given you another day. Thank Him for the day. Say your morning prayers. I always say the Lord's Prayer in the morning. And then I specifically mention a few things about blessing my children and my wife. Yes, a lot of churches will have a earlier a sunrise. Um, some of them will have a midnight. The term midnight was the middle of the night in between sundown and sun up. That was midnight, the middle of the night. And it wasn't 12, 12 a.m. The way we say 12 a.m. is midnight. Another thing that most people don't know, but is a fact, in biblical times, in the Jews, the Hebrew people, the new day begins at sundown. Biblically, the new day begins at sundown. That's when the new day begins. Bet you didn't know that one. Yes, Sunday church. Six in the house, 4 likes. So, I'm falling behind. I got 2 power stations that I need to do an unboxing on. Uncle Al said, "Do the unboxing. Do the video on the unboxing. Unbox that power station." So, this weekend, I'm going to try to make sure that I get the one of them unboxed, and I'll do a review video of it. I need to finish my goodie box in video for SD Mountain Man Scott. Need to get that done so I can upload it. And I got some little segments to it. And it will probably wind up being a premiere. And I'm going to predict it's probably going to be this next Wednesday. I tend to do my premieres on Wednesdays. So it'll probably be Wednesday at like 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Melinda Elliott. Welcome, Melinda Elliott. So last night, I ran 12 videos. I try to run live streams. I try to run longer videos. And I ran 12 of them. And so far, I left comments about full replay, like number for 2 of them. And I got another 10 I need to go. And then I'll try to make another playlist and I'll start over, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I did run echoes. And I think it was an older one, maybe. I don't remember. I try to run something I haven't run before so they get credit for it. I want to make sure they get the watch hour. And it was one where she said they were going to go to church, so it was a Sunday. And she popped something. She felt the pop, and she went over and went to the emergency room, and So I'm thinking that was a while back. Might have been a couple of weeks back or so. I'm trying to make sure that when I run stuff, and I run hers regularly, so it could be that was like a while back. I don't even remember. But I know it was one that I hadn't run before, so she'd get full watch time for it because she's trying to get her 4,000 hours. Oh boy, boy, boy. And Melinda, I run something of yours, but I haven't commented on it yet. I watched it, but I haven't commented on it yet. I need to leave a comment and a like number for it. So looking at where I'm at on my goodie boxes, after I finish with Scott, SD Mountain Man, and Scott and I have sent stuff to each other before. We support each other's channels. I'm trying to get him. He finally went over 900. I'm trying to get him over 1,000. Want to get him over 1,000 so he can work on help him get his watch hours so he can get monetized. He's a very good guy. Former, he served in the Marines. Really stand-up man. Got a family man. Good man. Good mountain man. And so I'm looking at people that that I need to help, that I want to send something to, prepper related, one of my gift boxes, and I'm thinking Joseph Moore and I don't see the other gentleman in here. I'm thinking Joseph Moore, and I'm thinking Hillbilly Josh Lofton will probably be the next two gentlemen that will get goodie boxes from me. Lord willing, the creek doesn't rise, and I'm able to get her done, type thing. I'm slowing down. I really am. Uncle Al will say, I'm old, I'm getting old, I'm tired, whatever. He's got some health issues. And I need to work on PCF and ma'am. Good evening, PCF. PCF and ma'am. Welcome. Been a while since I've seen you. And the Black Widow channel. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. What I do not understand, and I use Belinda as an example, Belinda's Country Living. I was watching one of her videos, and she likes to use a food processor to chop up her stuff, and she was showing how to make a salad, for Easter. And I think I was like number 72 on the likes, and that's lightweight for her. She gets hundreds of likes on her videos, and 72, that's more like me on a good day for me. It's like me on a good day, and that's a bad day for her. But I do not understand why people are so tight with their likes. I was looking at my overall ratings, and I have maybe around 9-10,000 views. My channel has gotten right at 110,000 views. And I have about 10% of my views. In other words, 1 in 10 views leave a like on my channel. I have over 10,000 likes. I was looking at my statistics. About 10%, about 1 in 10 of my views get a like. I do not understand why people are so tight with their likes. It does not cost them a dime It does not cost them anything to leave a like, other than to push that, just push the button and leave a like. I don't understand. I always leave a like. I leave comments. I want people to know it was me. I always leave a comment. I always leave a like. Now, I will give you an exception. I watch a lot of news clips. I always leave a like on news clips, but most of the time I don't leave comments. You know, you get these news clips that have hundreds of thousands of views. You know, I usually don't leave, and they'll have 1,000 or more comments. I don't bother leaving comments on stuff like that because very few people will see my comments. So when it comes to like the big news stuff, no, I don't leave comments, but I leave likes. Steve and Tina Jewell, welcome. Yes, if you choose, if you come in on this late and you want to, you know you want the whole enchilada, so to speak, then please go back and rerun it, watch it, leave a like on it, watch a few minutes of it if you want to. I have people who miss my, because of work or whatever things going on, because of when I do it, and they'll go back the next day and they'll tell me they're running it at work, or they're watching it, on the way to work. I mean, they're listening to it on the way to work or whatever, you know. And every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Uh, Thank you for the thumbs up. So there have been some tragedies happening. There have been some tragic stuff happening. There was a bridge in Baltimore, about a mile and a half long bridge, and a cargo ship that apparently has had a little trouble in the past. Engine trouble. Engine went out, and they ran into one of the big pylons, and it brought the bridge down. And I think 6 or 7 people died. Or they could not find bodies. And I think they found like 3 bodies so far. And when that bridge went down, it was, well above, well up in the air, so that ships could go under it. And we're talking maybe 150 feet or so, that whoever went down when that bridge went down, they went down, they dropped 150 feet or so into the water. And just a drop like that from that height could have killed them. And then the way the water flows, they're trying to find bodies and everything. I think they found 3 so far. Very tragic, and there could have been a lot more deaths than there were, but it was at night, and they knew something was going on, so they were able to stop traffic across the bridge, because you could see as that ship was getting closer and closer to that support pylon, you could see vehicles going each way over it, because it was night. You could see the lights, and then all of a sudden, the lights stopped going back and forth. So apparently they had stopped traffic across the bridge, but there were some people, I guess, walking on the bridge or whatever, that were on the bridge, and when the bridge went down, they were lost. Very tragic. Very tragic. Very tragic occurrence. 7 died. Thank you, Uncle Al. Uncle Al keeps better track of the news than I do. And he's got a little bit more time than I have to watch that kind of stuff. But I try to keep track of it. And then the latest I've heard of that incident over in Moscow, look, I'm giving my version of the news, that incident with those terrorists who went into that concert over at Moscow, something like 130 plus people were killed. The death toll is at over 130 people. Uncle Al might be able to give you a better count than I have. And there are probably about 100 or so beyond that were shot, wounded. And I think they threw a couple of grenades, and then they used automatic weapons. And they've caught 6 or 7 people. I think there were 6 or 7 people involved. They caught most of them. Holly Ivans, welcome. Welcome, Holly. We're talking about, or I'm talking about, bad things happening. Bad things happening. So, it is important. It is important to be prepared for emergencies. The Scout motto is be prepared. You have to prepare for contingencies. You could be out and about and your car breaks down, and you may be someplace where you have to walk a ways. You could be out in the country and you might not have very good cell phone coverage, and you might have to walk a ways. So if you're in a vehicle, let's say you're wearing dress shoes, do you have some tennies, or do you have some walking boots that you can put on? Do you have some good thick socks that you can put on? Do you have a jacket? Let's say you're walking and the sun goes down. You're trying to get someplace the sun goes down, and it gets cold when the sun goes down. Do you have a jacket? Do you have gloves? Do you have a good hat? Do you have bottles of water? Do you keep several bottles of water? A carry pack with stuff that you might need to get you by for a day or two. Do you have some food? Do you have some easy to eat food? Something you don't have to heat? Like some Cliff Bars or some such. Cliff Bars, bottled water. You take medication. Do you have a few days supply of your medication with you? What about self-defense? What do you have to protect yourself? Maybe there are wild animals in your area where you're at. Don't want to be attacked by a wolf. Don't want to be attacked by a bear. Don't want to be attacked by any sort of predator. What do you have for self-defense? You got to think about stuff like that. Important, muy importante. Very important. So, 11 in the house, 9 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. So, as I was saying, I got in another power station that I bought on sale. It was 1/3 off. I have a thing for Blue Eddy, and I bought a Blue Eddy EP70 power station. It's more than twice the capacity of the EP3A that I got 2 of, one for my wife, one for my daughter. And then I also bought a power station that I got before, and I need to do an unboxing on it. And it is not a Blue Eddy, which got the Blue Eddy right there. No, it's a Pecron. And if you look at where I'm pointing right there, that's the Pecron. And it's got a 1200 watt inverter, pure sine inverter, so you can run a microwave with it if you wanted to. You could run your refrigerator. It's got a lot more capacity to it. So, Adio Near, and I need to do an unboxing on it. Mr. Whistle, not paying attention. Mom of four boys. I got people sneaking in on me. Mom of four boys. Mr. Whistle, please leave a like to support your local channel. And Eddie O'Neill. Welcome. So, something else I saw today, and not wanting to get into politics, but just wanting to get into class. This comment is relating to class. Rona Daniels, I believe her name is. She was head of the Republican National Committee. She was asked to step down. She stepped down. And a lot of these people, like, they leave Congress or they leave a position and they get a contract and they get on as a on-air consultant, or somebody contributes and such. And NBC hired her. She got a contract. And a lot of the talking heads on NBC were mad as the devil that they put her on. And I think she only went on once, and then they gave her hell when she was on that time. It's been like a week. Well, they let her go. But they didn't contact her to let her know they were letting her go. It just got announced. They didn't contact her ahead of time, they just let her go. It's just, but that's not a classy way to say, oh, we made a mistake and we feel like it's not going to work out. And all the talking heads are all happy about it. They let the Republican go because that's complete Democrat territory, and they don't want any Republicans in there messing them up. Now, I don't say that from the standpoint of politics. I say that from the standpoint of that's just classless the way that they did that. Not that they did it, but I'm saying it's classless the way they did that. And another example is Disney. There was a lady, and she was an actor on one of the Star Wars shows. And she was a former MMA fighter, and she'd been in some movies, some support movies. I think she might have been in like the Expendables or one of the Expendables movies. Her name is Gina Carano. And her family's got money. So, and she's made a little bit of money acting, and she was an MMA fighter, and she did quite well, and then she lost a bout, and she stopped. But she had like 7 or 8 wins, and then she lost one. Nice lady, good looking lady, big woman, like 5'9", 5'10", muscular, for a woman, a good sized woman, so she could fight. Anyway, and she was in this Mandalorian series. So she posted some stuff that they didn't like. And I'm not saying anything about what she posted, good, bad, ugly, or whatever. But they let her go. But they didn't contact her to tell her they were letting her go. They let her go, and then they started talking about having to let her go, but they never contacted her directly. They didn't have the class to contact her directly. And to me, that's classless. If you're going to fire somebody, have the intestinal fortitude to look them in the eye and tell them you're letting them go. Don't just start talking about it to a bunch of other people and they find out about it from, because people are talking about it. And that's classless. And NBC did the same thing with Rona, I think her name is Daniels or McDaniels or some such. And I don't even keep track of that stuff. But I mean, I read about that, and I saw a news clip on that, and I thought that was classless. That was really tacky. Uh, 5'10". That's a big woman. Yeah. Yep. 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 So everybody's greeting everybody else, and they're all saying nice things, to each other because these are good channels. Really good channels. And so, and as long as I'm talking about things that I think are tacky, I'm talking about things I think are tacky. Um, I'll give you an example from the standpoint of Christianity. The Lord lived a modest life. He lived a modest life. His apostles that he appointed lived modest lives. They did what they had to do to survive, to eat. When they were doing the ministry, they would often work to make money to have food. And yeah, people took care of them, and they took them in and they fed them and everything. And there's lots of stories of that. You want to talk about the Acts of the Apostles or some of the epistles and various things? I mean, yeah. And there today, the majority of pastors and clerical people are bivocational. And then what that means by bivocational is that they're pastoring churches that financially really cannot afford to keep them up, completely keep them up, so that they don't have to have a job to supplement the income that the church can provide them. The majority of churches are pastors are what you call bivocational. In other words, they have a profession, and then they're ministers or pastors or whatever, priests, whatever, and they're doing that. Um, Usually, church nights are like usually middle of the week, which would be like Wednesday evenings, and then Sunday church. You know, so they've got a day job, they work during the week, maybe a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5 or whatever, and then in the evenings, usually on a Wednesday evening, um, and then Sunday mornings, up until about noon. Church services usually get out by noon, then people can go to eat. A lot of times they'll go eat with members of their congregation, and then they are available for counseling and for prayer, for go visit somebody sick in the hospital. They go in the evening and they go visit them. you know they do outreach, um, and such, and they'll perform baptisms, they'll perform wedding ceremonies, Friday night, Saturday night, whenever. And that's what they do. So they're making money, whatever profession they are. And then the church supports them however they can, you know. And most pastors do not get rich. They're not in a church that's just going to pay them an outrageous sum. I mean, the churches that can afford to support their pastors, they give them a comfortable living. They can afford to have a nice car. They usually have a parsonage, which is a decent house that they live in while they're pastoring that church. They pay their utilities. They pay maybe their cell phone. They give them a salary that they have. They pay for their health insurance. They got like a little package that they provide them. you know and they may minister in that church for 15, 20, 30 years in the same church. And then they have a retirement situation. And some of the big church councils, that they have their affiliated churches, they may have a retirement plan program where they pay retirement benefits, a certain amount of retirement benefits to somebody after they retired after a certain length of time, or to help them out. Mike Crusher Reviews. Hello, Mike. I have been talking and I have not been paying attention to who came in, and my friend Mike Crusher Reviews came in. Blessings, Mike. Thank you for coming in. Now, you have churches where the pastor owns the church. You have denominations where they don't really have a standard where you have to have a degree. Like a lot of churches will require you to have a graduate degree in theology or church ministries or whatever. You've got to go through and you've got to have credentials in order to be a pastor, and they license you. You get a license through their assembly or convention or whatever. And there are denominations in which the pastor feels a calling, but they don't have any formal education or any formal college training or anything other than the fact that they feel the Spirit of the Lord to profess the word. I have nothing against that. God bless them. And you've got people who build their own churches, and the congregation helps them and they build a church. God bless them. But you've got some of these ministers, and they develop a big calling, and they become a mega church, and the pastor basically owns the church, and they bring in millions and millions of dollars, and that's a lot of that goes in the pastor's pocket. So the pastor's living in a massive mansion, has a limousine, maybe has their own plane. They got money coming out their ears. And I don't think, God forgive me for judging, but I don't think the Lord, that was what he intended from his ministers, people who preach his word. I don't think he minds them having a comfortable living, and yet they got kids, and they got to put their kid through college, and they got to have money to help support their kids. They got children. Yeah, I understand. And I have no problems with the pastor having a nice car, his wife having a car, and they live in a nice home, and their kids are able to get he can support his kids so that they have all the necessities and such. And I have no problems with that. But then there comes a point when I start looking at it. Well, who am I to judge? But I'm a human being. I'm human. And that's not all of them, but that's a few of them. That's a few of them. And, and occasionally you've heard about these big scandals where some pastor, you hear about scandals in some of these churches, money scandals and affair scandals. Pastor's married and he's got his ministry and everything, then he's fooling around with the secretary, or he's, flesh is weak. You get these, and you get these scandals that basically, it's embarrassing. And then some have gone to jail, because of some of the stuff that they did and such, and then they wind up in jail. Looks bad on the denomination and on the faith when that happens. Hillbilly Josh, welcome, Hillbilly Josh. So, Hillbilly Josh, I was saying earlier that the next couple of beneficiaries of my goodie boxes are going to be Hillbilly Josh and Joseph Moore when I get SD Mountain Man Scott's out. So just to let you know that I'm looking to, and I had commented previously, and tell me what y'all think. I'm thinking I'll do a shout out, little short couple of minutes shout out video. I'll take clips off of little stuff off of the person's channel, and I'll put together, put some music with it, and do a little shout out video, a couple of minutes. The last couple of people that I've done boxes for, I've done that. I've done that for them. I did that for Scott. I did that for KP Heathen. I did it for Uncle Al. I put that in their videos, or in my goodie box videos. I put that little clip with one of the clips that I put together when I did their goodie box video. I put that together. One of the segments in that goodie box video that I did. Had a little fun doing it. But I think you guys will be the next two after I get through with SD Mountain Man. So anyway, and I'm sending out things that you need. I guarantee you, for one, this is like $10 or $11, but everybody needs one of these. If you have a go bag, you need one of these, and you need to have one of these in it. And you can boil water. You can heat water with this. This will burn for 6 hours. You can turn it on and off, turn it on and off, on and off. This, very lightweight, foldable. You need one of each of these in your go bag. And if the power goes out, you need this to be able to heat water in your house. And I put those in my goodie boxes. Well, don't say you appreciate it until I embarrass you with the video. And I have fun doing it. You're going to have to put up with watching me eat. I usually do a couple of eat clips in there. Hey, Belinda. I was commenting about a video that I watched of yours earlier. I really enjoyed you doing that salad video. And I enjoyed that. And then I was commenting, I'm sort of jealous, but I was commenting, I was like number 72 or something like that. And I said, oh, this is one of her slower ones. Because, I said, I have not seen somebody with a channel. Your channel is about twice the size of mine right now. And I have never gotten more than 100 and some odd likes on a video. And, last few of yours, like 300 likes, 270 likes that's like when I was looking at it. And I was just like, Judas Priest. And I'm struggling to try to hit, I get 500 views on a video and I get like a little over 100 likes. And for me, that's pretty good because it's like 20%. If I'm doing 20% with the likes, that's pretty good. And I'm not counting the live streams because the people that watch me that are here all the time, they leave likes, But I'm talking about when I release a video. And the videos I've released recently, they're not getting that many views. Scott, his video so far has like 54, 55 views. The one, where I did the little shout out. Now, I haven't done the goodie box video yet. That will probably get released as a premiere, most likely this coming Wednesday. But I tell you, Belinda, and I enjoyed that video. I mean, you put out some good food prep videos. I really enjoyed that video. And it's like 12, 15 minutes long. I can't keep track of. It's like 12, 15 minutes long. Nice, food prep video. Really was. I love cauliflower and I love broccoli. They're both good. Devil Dog Prepper, welcome. Devil Dog Prepper. So as I was saying, 11 in the house, 15 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. So as I was saying, you never know what could happen. You know, you could get a flat and your spare could be flat. You know, you got to check those. You got to check your spare periodically. Or you could get two flats and you got one spare. And you may be someplace where you don't have good, and I'm talking bad scenarios. You're someplace where you don't have good cell phone coverage. Maybe there's not a lot of traffic on the road. And you got to walk a ways. So, like I said, do you have some good walking shoes you can put on? Good thick socks? Do you have a jacket? Do you have gloves? Do you have a nice hat? Do you have several bottles of water? Do you have medication if you take it? Do you have some Cliff Bars or something to get you by, you know, a little bit of food, you know, the easy to prep? Do you keep a good first aid kit? Do you have a good map? If you're someplace where you're not that familiar with, do you have a good map? Do you have a compass? Do you have some hygienes, you know, for to use the restroom? Hygiene stuff. What do you have for self-defense to protect you? You know, there are wolves, wild dogs, wild hogs, predators, two-legged predators, four-legged predators. What do you have to defend yourself? Got to think about all that stuff. Do you have an emergency radio? Do you have some glow sticks, glow lights? Do you have a lithium light, something to keep a charge on it? What all do you have? What is your scenario? What are you prepared for? You got to think about all that stuff. Grilling steak. Oh, good stuff. Uncle Al, everybody's cooking. I'm hungry. You're making me hungry. Well, yeah, a hiking stick. That's good. That you can drive off a dog with that. You can drive off a dog with that with a good stick, walking stick. If you know how to use one, it makes a good weapon. You get like a staff. Makes a good weapon. Uncle Al was doing a video earlier today and was talking about, you know, these people who like to click out their knives, you know, or they flash their knife. If you're in a situation where you have to defend yourself, you don't want them to see the blade. You want to use the blade. You don't want them to know you've got it. You feign with this one, and this is the one you're going to get them with. You know, and you don't let them see you. You know, you don't want them to see you coming. It's one of the reasons why they've got these low-flying cruise missiles. Because they fly along, they skim the surface, and they try to fly below radar, so you don't have a lot of range before you find they're coming. You don't find them coming way off where you can defend against them. Somebody's knows what they're doing is going to stick you with a knife. You're not going to notice it. That's why you got to watch. You got to look. You got to be cognizant. They always say, "Look, eyes. Look at what they're holding. You know, look at everything. What's in their hands? What's on their feet?" I was watching a old movie, and somebody had a razor blade stuck in their boot. Boy, if they'd have kicked you with that, and that razor blade went in you and cut you all up. There are people that just dirty is their go-to. You don't want to play with people like that. You don't want to be in a position where you have to defend yourself against people like that. Utah Mike, welcome, Utah Mike. Welcome. $16 likes, 10 in the house. Yes, milk. Good stuff. And there are people that they drink alternative milks. They drink plant-based milks because they're lactose intolerant. And I make fun about that. I'm always making fun of lactose intolerance. I've got a brother-in-law. He loves to drink a big glass of homogenized milk because it gives him gas, and then he starts cutting cheesers. And I mean big ones. It's like the cookout scene from Blazing Saddles. And everybody's laughing at him. He does that for entertainment. Crazy sense of humor. My wife hates it. She hates toilet humor. But so many people are lactose intolerant. So they drink almond milk, oat milk, whey milk. Your freeze-dried milk is usually, plant-based. Whey milk or whatever. And nothing wrong with that. It's got all the vitamins and minerals and everything. Good stuff for you. Mix it up with water. Four or 5 glasses of milk a day. Your ancestors were Northern Europeans. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect me. Most of the population around the world, you can tolerate milk till about the age of 4. Little kids, that basically tells you back in the day they'd breastfeed, and you'd breastfeed, women would breastfeed her child for the first 2-3 years of their life. They get breast milk. And nowadays they're like 6 months, and then they put them on a bottle or whatever formula. That's even if they breastfeed to begin with. But your body, even if you come from people who are lactose intolerant, you're able to tolerate it for about 4 years or so. And then if you've got the lactose intolerant gene, it kicks in and then gives you all sorts of stomach issues if you drink milk. My daughter is half Hispanic and she's lactose intolerant. She drinks alternative milks. Oh, can't get her to drink. I usually drink 2% milk. And 2% milk. And no. She loves almond milk. She likes almond milk. She drinks alternative, creamers and such for her coffee. It is what it is. Yes, and you can take stuff for it. Lactate, yes. Holly. That is true. That is true. Yep, 2%. I've got so much milk, it's not funny. I got tons of freeze-dried milk. Lots of it. That will be one of the last things that will run out for me. I buy number 10 cans of the stuff. And a lot of the packs that I buy have in it milk. And I buy the chocolate flavor. I buy the orange delight, which is like an orange drink. I buy lots of powdered stuff. I've got lots of freeze-dried coffee. You've heard cats are not supposed to have milk. Yeah, I don't care for buttermilk. My father loved buttermilk. My father, may he rest in peace, my father loved buttermilk. I don't. Mm-mm. I'm not a buttermilk drinker either. Yeah, 1% tastes like water. Yeah, chocolate milk's good. I drank so much of that when I was a kid. God, I drank the chocolate milk. If you think homogenized milk is sweet, creamy, rich, chocolate milk. Borden's chocolate milk. Borden's. I drink tons of chocolate milk. Oh, that is so true. So true. 14 in the house, 16 likes. Help me get to 20 likes, everybody. Yes, oatmeal. Oatmeal, cream of wheat. I've got a bunch of cans of both. Cream of wheat, what my friend Matt Hallbrook refers to as gruel. Oh, you're showing a can of gruel. Whatever, Matt. You know, uh, I like cream of wheat. I like oatmeal. I like grits. A lot of people don't like grits. I love grits. I love hash browns. I got cans of all that. I got number 10 cans of all that stuff. Multiples. I can only give one like per video. That's cool. That's cool. I'd like a like of this one. Thank you. That's humorous. I tell you what, KP Heathen's got some good stuff out. He's got his garden, his starter garden going. My friend KP Heathen. Yep. Yeah, and cats tend to live longer than dogs. 17's a good life. I've heard cats living past 20. Yes, grits are wonderful. You put some butter in there, and I got number 10 cans of butter powder. You know, so I'm trying to build depth into my preps. Trying to build depth into my preps. I am trying to build depth into my preps. I think I'm looking at, what am I looking at here? Twelve in the house, 17 likes. Evelyn Official, thank you for coming in, Evelyn Official. Welcome, Evelyn. Eat more trotters. Yeah, my brown lab Ford, who my wife and we owned his parents, who were a pair of black labs, Max and Pepper. Pepper was the female, Max was the. And Max was a box head lab, and Pepper was not. And Ford did not come out box head, but he came out a brown lab. And we had him since he was born. He lived about 13 years. And this last week was sad. He's buried 4 foot down out in the backyard. About 100-pound dog. Very, very needy, very clingy, but very, very good as a guard dog. Very protective. Very friendly, loving dog. And I told the wife, I'm sure in the kingdom, he will be in the kingdom after the judgment and everything else. You store ghee, okay? Need the fat. And actually, the best thing for you is olive oil. Olive oil is good for you. It's more expensive, but it's healthy. If you're going to cook, if you can cook with olive oil, cook with olive oil. Thank you, Uncle Al. Appreciate you being here. So, I have been trying to do an hour. That way, if somebody watches me or does a full replay, I get an hour. I put together a playlist of shorts. I've done 95 shorts, and they're on a playlist. They're all on the same playlist. And it would probably take you an hour and a half to run it, and it would give me 95 views. So if you want to bless me and you want to run a live stream, run my shorts playlist. I'm at the point where I have my 4,000 plus hours. I have over 1,500 subscribers, and I'm at the point now I need to complete my monetization, my application. Hopefully I'll get that done this weekend. Good Lord. I have to go do an adjustment to my income tax. I left out a form. The IRS rejected it, and Jackson Hewitt called me and said, well, we gotta go, we gotta blah blah blah, and we gotta send it in, and okay, I'll be over Saturday. Gotta get that done. So, life is good, but it is what it is. That's how it goes. I will plan on being back tomorrow evening at 7. I'll be off from school Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Thank God I got 4 days off for Easter. It's one of the benefits of being an educator. You get lots of holidays. And I am tired. So I appreciate you. Life is good, but it is what it is. Be prepared. And everybody have a blessed day. And I will hopefully see you back for another edition of Coffee Talk tomorrow evening at 7.